What's good, y'all? It's Chris Chance. I'm here with the legendary Will Jerry. Uh, introduce yourself to the URLians. Let's give a, who are you, man?
I am Will Cherry. I'm an artist, music producer, screenwriter, director, engineer. Yeah.
Say it again. Look, that last one. Say it again. Say it again. That engineer.
Engineer.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nah, so it's like, I wanted to do this podcast really bad because I've always watched you creatively. And you've always been like, before you put out your album, I just saw the process. And for somebody that has been wanting to do music, it was really cool seeing you execute something at such a hot level. You know what I mean? Like on, basically like type first try type shit,
Yeah.
you put out this really crazy project. And I mean, like you wrote a screenplay for it. You actually filmed the shit. It's like, I want to dig all into that, the process of you getting to that point of, taking over the whole project, because you produced most of it, correctly?
Yeah, I produced really like every track. Like on one track, towards the end, the second half of Vancouver, my friend Dom Sarfo, he did the drums on that. But basically, I produced every song, and then my friends had like little parts, like little drum parts, little synths and stuff like that. Yeah.
Amazing. Now I was playing. I was actually like I was playing Death Proof. That shit was ridiculous. I was playing like the video, everything about it. Like, what was I see like your city is like a big part of, I guess like the whole imagery of everything. So tell us about like how it was growing up there and how it impacted you as an artist.
Yeah. Well, on that song, I have two artists from Cleveland Heights, Tay Miles and Matthias Young. But we filmed the video in like my actual hometown, which is Elyria, Ohio. I think the population is like 50,000 people. It's like a cool little like small town, nice little vibe. And we've never had like a big artist to come out of the town or something like that. So it was inspiring for me to film the video there and film different stuff there and like have like there's this big mural that says Elyria.
Yeah.
And we use that in the video. And actually when I got on the newspaper in the town, like they had me take the picture in front of that.
Oh, wow. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was really dope.
Yeah, so I just think it's like cool to just incorporate that. Like I was actually doing something recently, and like I was talking to actually some middle schoolers in my town, to like a school I went to, and they were asking like what is the influence that the town has had on me. And I don't know if it's had like a super big influence, but I just always feel a need to be very specific and say like I'm a Cleveland artist, but 30 miles west of Cleveland, I'm from this little town called Elyria, and it's a cool little place, and it just helped form me to who I am,
Yeah. So like, would you say like living out there? I mean, like you said, 50,000 people. Like, in terms of the culture, did it push you and like drive you to go to the internet in terms of like the things that you liked and all that type of stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. Because everybody that I knew like didn't identify with the same things I identified with, or was into the same stuff as me. So like I was watching an interview and you were like asking Haji like when he got on KTT, and that was making me think about when I got on. I was like, I remember I got on because of Party Next Door 2 and the Joe Budden battle that he did with Hollow Don. So it was in that moment. It was like nobody else that I knew personally was listening to Party Next Door. So it was like, okay, where can I talk about this with somebody? It's just like wanting to talk about stuff.
Yeah. Because it's like I mean, like somebody from your town may not want to talk about some deep cut on some album that you like, and there's a whole thread dedicated to it on this side.
Exactly, yeah.
That leads to, I wanted to ask you, I ask everybody this. So what was your first username, gamer tag? Like what was your first online alias?
I remember my MySpace, slash, I guess, was Beast at Large, which is very corny. It didn't even have like a real me. I just thought it sounded cool.
I think that's how everybody's using it. It sounded cool,
Yeah.
That's dope as fuck. I like to ask that because it's like I like to see what your first name was and now like what you go as now. Like I think my first, I've never even thought about this for real. I think my first one may have been like my first gamer tag was Global Mean.
Global Mean.
Yeah, global like, and it's just like that's what it was. Like,
What does this mean?
I don't know. Like, it was just one kind of cool. Like,
Yeah, yeah, right.
but yeah, I find that to be funny how like usernames have evolved. Like
Yeah,
shit has gotten like a lot more tasteful.
yeah, it has. That's like branding.
Is essentially
Username.
your Instagram is your profile, like your portfolio. Your Twitter is
Yeah,
like the discourse. Like, but so I mean, like you got on KTT. What is that? 2013,
2014. Yeah.
2014, 2014. So at that point, where were you musically? Were you thinking about making music, or were you just more of a fan?
Um, I was making music, but it wasn't really stuff that I was putting out like that. But like I was
Mhm.
known around the high school for rapping, and
Yeah.
I would do the talent shows and stuff like that. Like I closed out the talent show a couple times and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I was like known for it, but I wasn't really putting a lot of stuff out. But I think ever since I was a kid, like I always wanted to be an artist. I always, even before I made music, I wanted to make film. Like before I wrote a song, I wrote a screenplay, like 140-page screenplay, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous. But I just always knew that I wanted to do it, but it took some time for me to really develop. And that's why I had like a long gap of not even putting out music leading up to the album
Mhm.
because I knew I needed to develop as an artist. I still do. Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing that artists need to know going into this shit. It's like
Yeah.
your album is as good as it is because you took your fucking time. You
Yeah.
crossed all your T's, you dotted your I's, you made sure everything was, what I mean, on point. Like,
Yeah.
I think that like, a lot of artists like feel like they need to put out a lot of shit, but it's like, yo, like polished efforts, you know what I mean? They pay off
Right.
for
Yeah.
real. That's amazing. So, what was the first track that you made for this album?
Um, I'm trying to think because I actually like most of the songs on the album are from 2017.
Hmm.
So I think it might be Flip. I might have did that early 2017. Um, it might be, yeah, yeah. I think it might be Flip. Might be the earliest
Okay.
one. I actually started in 2016, but I scrapped a lot of those songs.
Hmm.
So yeah, it might be Flip.
They in the wheelchair vault.
Yeah, they're
I
just they're just not that good. They're not that good.
got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So I like to say this, but now we got the boring shit out the way. Let's talk about you. Like
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
to talk about the person. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
what's your most played video game of all time?
Uh,
Most
I'm not
hours.
like I'm not like a huge gamer,
Oh,
but Modern Warfare 2, I played a lot when I was like in the middle
mhm.
school, and I actually went and got it like during the quarantine. I bought a PS3 because I was just so bored. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I got Modern Warfare 2 again and played it again,
Hmm.
and it was like an interesting experience because there's like certain things like I completely forgot about.
Hmm.
Like might have been like 10-year gap
No,
between when I
it did. It was a lot. I mean, a remaster came out. Like I think, it was 10 years, right? Like,
Yeah. So it was just funny to like have that little deja vu of like, wow, I remember being in this moment in the game as a kid, and now I'm a man playing it. It was funny.
yeah, it's like full
Yeah.
circle. It's
Yeah.
cool how that's why I love like interactable experiences because like
Yeah.
I'm like obviously like like I think like music stuff like movies games like when you're in those type of like I don't know like when you were playing that you felt how you felt you were like 10 years ago like that's an
Yeah, that's true.
interesting like thing to create for somebody to be able to like identify moments like that so deeply like that if they
Yeah.
play it again they can feel like they're right back like
Yeah.
it's like
I have that with music more than games.
mhm,
Like there are like certain songs like
yeah.
there's like a Glenn Lewis song from like '01, and
Mhm,
every time I hear it, I remember being like on this street in my town at like 4
yeah,
years old, hearing it on the radio. Like
yeah,
it's like a short list of those songs I remember hearing growing up, and every time I hear it, just takes me back to that exact moment. And it's really
mhm.
amazing. Like I love to just go there. It's like diving into your past for a second.
So like you're 10 years old. You're making a playlist with 5 tracks. Like who are the artists?
Who are the artists? So I'm trying to think. When I was 10, that was '07. So um, definitely Kanye West, of course. Um, I was playing a lot of Kanye. I was playing a lot of NERD at that time too.
Yeah.
Um, Marvin Sapp, this gospel artist, he dropped the album. Oh, you already know, yeah, Thirsty. He dropped the album. Would have made it that year. And
Come
that
on.
whole album, like from like track 5 to like track 13, is like my favorite run in
Mhm.
music
So
ever. Yeah,
let's talk about that. I like that. I like that.
yeah,
How much is gospel influence your music? Because I like for I guess like a lot of people that consume hip hop that aren't from a like I guess like an American black background,
yeah.
like they're not used to gospel music or they don't understand the influence that it has on us as like artists. Like so, I mean, like how much would you say that listening to that as a young man is like change how you sing, how you rap?
Um, if I had to put like a percentage of how much of my influence is gospel,
Hmm.
even just songs and not like a bunch of like favorite artists, but just songs, it probably is like 50%. Like, because I actually grew up going to church every Sunday,
Hmm.
played the drums, played the organ, was in like the community choir. And
Ah.
that's where like, so I do like harmonies in my songs, which is not super popular in rap.
Hmm.
And I started doing that, not even more than like the R&B influence, it was the gospel influence.
Yeah.
That was where I learned how to build harmonies, because when you're in the choir, you're listening to the choir director give each section their part, and then you watch them build the harmony in front of you.
Mm.
So like the huge, even like some of the chords I use are like gospel chords I learned from gospel tutorials on YouTube, learn how to play keys. Like, so it's a super huge influence. And like I like to do like vocal runs and riffs and stuff like that in my song. Like it's all from gospel more than anything else.
Amazing. I love that. I mean, like, I feel like the best artists, when you were making music or when you're singing, like, I forgot who said this, like, when you're singing for like a higher power, like
Yeah.
the way that, I mean, like,
It's more
you,
passionate.
yeah, it's,
Sure.
you're selfless. You're
That's
just
where
like,
that's where the best singers in the world are. They're in churches.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Easily.
Like, I mean, like, our favorite, like, some of our favorite people, I mean, like, D'Angelo, motherfucking,
Yeah.
like, we could just stop right there. Like,
Well,
goddamn.
yeah. Like you can run down to like every great singer, like Aretha Franklin on down. Like they're
You
all
know?
from church. Yeah.
So, what age did you get in and what age did you get out in terms
I'm
of in the choir and all that?
in the choir specifically, I guess I got put in when I was like a little kid,
Mhm.
and then I kind of stopped getting the urge to sing because I'm not really a singer. But with like when I'm recording, I got the auto tune and stuff like that. That
Mhm.
sort of carries me and helps me like to reach certain things. But I'm not a singer like that, so I probably got out of the choir when I was like maybe in middle school or something like that. But
Gotcha.
then I still stayed on the instruments and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so at that point, you was just like, applying it to what you wanted to do and all that shit.
yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love harping on that every time. Like, I'm like, yo, gospel is one of the most complex genres in terms of instruments. Like, you
yeah,
are around so many different types of sounds, and it's just like, yeah, all this shit is spirituality, sexuality. All of this is like, is one thing. Like
yeah,
the way that yeah, it's just we can go down that rabbit hole. But
yeah.
yeah, I really love that. So you said Kanye, and then who are the other people?
Kanye, Marvin Sapp, NERD. I was listening to heavy at that time. '07. It might have been Wayne, like just random YouTube
Yeah,
freestyles and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think who else was I bumping super heavy when I was a kid. It was a lot of like just random songs. Maybe Justin Timberlake. That was when Future.
Future Sex Love
Yeah,
Sound.
that was that era too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I heard. So you said like on YouTube and shit. So what year were you on there? Like when did you start getting on the internet freely in terms of like browsing music and downloading shit?
That was probably around like '05, '06 when
Hmm.
YouTube first started getting hot. I was just on there all the time. And I was like subscribing to all like the channels like the comedians and stuff like that. And because I wanted to make movies and stuff like that. So I was watching the people that were creating sketches and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, like growing up, every Saturday I would watch Saturday Night Live with my mom. So I was into the idea of somebody creating like basically a short film, especially live. So with YouTube, it was like these are people doing it in their homes with no production, no budget, just off the strength of their own creativity. So I was super drawn to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that that's really cool because like I feel like a lot of artists like you in this generation, I mean, like that's how y'all kind of got like, hip to it. It's like, oh, I can do this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and it's a blessing, you know what I mean? That like we can be in this generation where the idea isn't that far fetched anymore. Like,
right, yeah.
so nah, I find that to be like really awesome. But yeah, Shout out to I knew you had the gospel influence. I knew you
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I do want to talk about Never Would Have Made It though.
absolutely. Let's talk about it.
Let's I don't understand what was they like in the booth. Like Guy was there. Like he was like Marvin.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was like Marvin, look. Like you about to go in this booth and go stupid. Like I wish I could play it on here. It's just a phenomenal vocal performance, one of the greatest of all time. Like
Absolutely. And like in the sequence of the album, like everything is like in the midsection of the album.
yeah.
It's like all of these slower moments where it's like he's almost like singing hymns. It's
Mhm.
sort of like in How Does It Feel, where the song builds up to the climax. Like in the album, he builds up to that climax. And the crazy part is, I'm pretty sure in the album, like I think it's recorded live. And there's even like moments where like he might miss a note or something like that, and you can hear the crowd. And what's confusing is like that version of the song is the popular version of the song.
Yeah.
So I don't think he released the song before that,
Mhm.
which means like as soon as he says "Never Would Have Made It," there's a person in the crowd going crazy, and it's their first time hearing the song.
Yeah.
When you think about that, like, bro, the first time they heard the first line, no chorus, because I think it's a cappella. He just says "Never Would Have Made It." This person's like, "Oh my god!" It's like they knew, like you know, it's real. Like they could feel it in the building. Like it's one of the greatest songs ever created.
Tyrone. It's type Tyrone with it. Like
Yeah,
I didn't. Damn, I did not realize. And that's one thing that people gotta like. I guess like a lot of people understand. Like, yo, this should be recorded live. Like most of the albums are live. Like these niggas out here like
in gospel, yes,
putting on absolute like symphonies, man. This shit is beautiful,
crazy, bro. Like it's amazing. Like, and that's something that's amazing about the genre. Apart from the fact that just like it's the best singers in the world, the best musicians in the world. When they record their albums, it's not like they might have toured some of it. If they're artists that's already kind of big, they might have got to tour like a comedian tours their stuff before leading up to it. But it's stuff that hasn't been put out yet. And they have to tape it like a comedian tapes, especially got to get it right. You might have a couple tries and they just nail it. And then this is what the world hears. It's just so amazing to me. Like the level of skill is just crazy.
Yeah, like
and actually, the dude, his musician is from a town right next to mine, Ohio.
Oh, really?
The guy that like produces a lot of his stuff. His name is Aaron Lindsay, I think.
Okay. That's interesting.
He's like a Grammy winner and all that. It's really inspiring.
Yo.
Yeah.
Damn, like before the like I think one of the craziest listening environments is the backseat of your mom car. Like
yes.
Someone like yo, like I think there was like certain albums like I remember Emancipation of Mimi when
yeah.
Bro, like but it's just like yo, but also with that, like the gospel, like I just remember some of those songs like yo, Lee Williams, let's not even get it started.
Yeah, we connected over that before, yeah.
Yeah, Lee Williams the GOAT.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cooling water from grandma's well, you know.
Right. And every time I hear it, I think I even told you, every time I hear it, I think about being on the trips to Alabama. Like it just takes you right back every time. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, bro. Early time, like the gospel in the morning on the radio. Oh Lord, man. Like, yeah, that was an amazing listening environment, man. Like we got put on some crazy shit in that backseat.
Absolutely.
For real. Like
some of my favorite songs ever. And like, especially when you're a kid and like you might be on a trip and you know you're seeing the mountains outside the window and you're half asleep. Like it makes the experience more euphoric when it's an amazing song. Like it sticks with you.
Yeah, you know? It's like, oh, I'm in a movie.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you're not worried about the road, you're just chilling. So you really feel the music.
Damn. Like, you know who was like a fucking champion of the backseat listening? Mary J. Blige. Like,
yeah.
I saw like there was like a fucking an anniversary, I think, of what was the album? The Breakthrough. The one that
came out in 05?
The one that got all the Grammys. That had
Be Without You. That one.
Yo. That
yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy looking back. Yo, she like type swept the Grammys that year. Like that album was ridiculous.
And it's deservedly so.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like she like I don't know. I think like in terms of, like artists, like my mom played a lot of Mary. She played a lot of Erica Maxwell. You know what I mean? Like D'Angelo, like, but that Mary,
And Mary stood out.
that shit hit different when you got a single mom too. It hit different,
Yeah.
bro. It's different. We in the Ultima bumping that Mary.
The Ultima.
Hell yeah, bro. Like that shit's strong, but nah, I like going and I guess highlighting all that shit because that's the shit that made us. You know what I mean? Like every
Absolutely.
generation is formed by the last 20 years, so it's like we're getting to that point now where the new generation is starting. And I mean, like you even see tweets now, people like, oh, to be a teenager in 2014, like
Yeah.
all the shit we grew up on is about to start getting like it's about to become cool, nostalgic, like
That's
so.
amazing. Yeah.
I'm trying to get the head like getting through all of this shit because oh my god, we need to really make like a playlist where everybody contribute and it's like the ultimate like mom playlist, like the ultimate mom bangers, like what I
Yeah.
mean, El DeBarge in that bitch. We gotta get the mom, we get the
That'd be
Patricia, we going crazy.
Yeah. The super deep cuts, not the yeah.
The super deep cuts, man. But so in terms of like what you've been like listening to in your formative years, like what was I'm gonna say formative years. What were the sounds that like, leading up to you coming up with this album that like you were kind of focusing on?
So yeah, so just like a couple years ago, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Like before, like the newest project.
Okay. A lot of Jodeci for
Mhm.
sure. Like, yeah, a lot of Jodeci. I'm thinking I got into voodoo like late in like 2016, maybe was when I
Mhm.
first heard voodoo in full, and got super deep into that. Blonde was a big influence. Like even on the album, like I'm doing like pitched up vocals and stuff like that. I definitely got that from Frank, who
Yeah.
like was holding on to that idea from when I first heard it in 2016. Like,
Hmm.
I just feel, especially because like it just feels it's jarring when you have like a super pitched up vocal. So I knew to put that at the end of the album after such a like this long gospel sample, and then the first thing you hear is this acapella pitched
Yeah.
up vocal is just like it just felt perfect. And I definitely got that from Frank. Um I remember like a lot of rodeo, a lot of like riding around in like my first car, listening to rodeo, driving like into downtown Cleveland.
Hmm.
Like that was a big deal. Cherry Bomb. Like these are all the albums that was coming out like right before I started working on this album. Yeah. Life of Pablo. That
Yeah.
like in the whole like what I wanted to do when I put this album out was I wanted to there's like this little square in our downtown area. And I
Hmm.
wanted to have like my own version of like the Pablo Ye type
Yeah.
listening session, but then COVID happened, so we couldn't. But I really like because that was such an inspiring moment. Like I went to my friend's house. It was me, a couple of my boys. We was watching it live on Tidal and
Hmm.
like looking at like all the dudes on stage. And like I was the only dude in the room who already knew who Lil Yachty was. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, I recognize him from SoundCloud. Like, yeah, like it was bro, just to watch that live, thinking that Designer was Future when you first heard him, like, like all of this stuff, bro. Like
I feel
that's
like
just such an iconic.
we've been unpacking that experience. I think that
Yeah,
experience was so dense at the time that it was like for me, I skipped school, went to the movie theater. I got one of the movie theaters, bro. That was
bro.
one of like that was like KT. It was like KTT in real life. It was kind of weird. I had never seen it
Yeah.
like that before, but it was a bunch of Kanye fans in this movie theater, and
Wow.
like bro, I cried when the
I
Father
feel you.
Choice sample hit. Like
I
it was
feel you,
so like I couldn't imagine actually being there. Like the people that said that
bro.
they
Yeah,
were there, it's like that was like an experience that is just never gonna happen again. Like,
unmatched, bro. Like I wish I could have, man. I wish I could have made it to the theater. Like I should have skipped class. I didn't skip class. I should have, and I probably could have got one of the little windbreaker jackets too. I should have skipped class for that, bro.
it was funny because on the first Yeezy season, when he did the just like the like the runway shit, I
Yeah.
skipped school for that, but I wasn't 18 at the time, and you had to be 18. So one of my boys got a ticket, and I like photoshopped like this fake school ID,
Oh wow,
like got in and shit. Like
that's crazy. Wow.
we did a lot of shit for Kanye West. But
And another thing about that, bro, that
mhm.
was the first time that I saw somebody live stream an event and it was color graded in real time. I'd
Yeah,
never seen that before. I don't know if I've seen that again since then.
that feed was so like crisp. We was like,
I'm just about to say it's crispy. Like it looks amazing. Like the colors are so vibrant, and it
weird.
brings life to the clothes. Like you're really there.
Mm-hmm.
It was live. It was like
That
I
was
never saw that before.
like I think like after I think that was like one of the last times. I won't say that Ye hasn't really done it. He has raised the bar since, but that was one
Yeah,
of the last times that he brought that motherfucker above his
yeah.
head. Like
Like crashed through the ceiling.
it's like everybody just like had to rethink, like they had to tuck their summer in type shit. Like we
Yeah.
literally got to repackage everything. Like
Like it was obvious that this is like a groundbreaking historical moment
mm,
in real time. Like I remember looking at Twitter, like everybody's going crazy, like in the room with my friends, like, bro, we've never felt, and the album was so good too. It was just like he didn't fail in any part of it.
you know what it was, bro?
Yeah,
That was the best time to ever be a Kanye West fan. Like
absolutely.
emotionally, like
Yeah,
yo, first off, no one hated Kanye during the Pablo era.
right. Yeah.
Everybody fucked with Ye. Everything was cool. Like
And he said some stuff that could have got him like the Bill Cosby tweet could have ended it, but it was just so he was so on fire that I was just like, all right, we're gonna ignore
Ye,
that.
like, bro, the whole shit with Wiz Khalifa, like, bro,
Yeah, it was just
it was like, dude, like, I felt like after Yeezus, I
yeah,
was, man, we done weathered the storm.
yeah,
Good now, man. We can
real.
go to retirement. Nope. After that shit, it turned the fuck up again. But like, I think that was a really cool snapshot in his little, in like in the whole grand scheme of his career. Like,
Yeah,
but
when they make the documentary, like that moment is like the culmination of everything. Like the album that sounds like every Kanye album before.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
It's like
that is
his
like
hits. Like it type is his greatest hits album. Like,
absolutely yeah, yeah.
uh,
Literally.
I think that like what do you feel about like the production of Jesus is King? I want
I,
to.
hmm, I almost I don't know
Yo,
who's gonna see this, but I didn't think it was good. I'm
yeah,
gonna
it
be honest.
was good.
I thought that the production I don't know if Mike Dean worked on the engineering. I don't believe he did.
I think he did.
But
Maybe.
even like the mixing, I wasn't feeling the mixing and mastering either. I felt like the production was like I don't know. He just didn't deliver fully for me on that. On
Yeah,
Jesus, it feels like his worst album to me.
it was like I feel like Kanye just don't be taking his time.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
It's like, and that's why I wanted to ask you how you felt about this because Pablo was low key the beginning of the end. Like that's when he started
yeah,
doing that process of like everything being last minute, blah 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 blah, and then it just comes together because that's how it always. But then it starts like not working. Like,
yeah. And you know, I felt like he did that then, and I felt like he had built up to that with like the last two before. Because
mhm.
I didn't know until like maybe last year. I was on Wikipedia and I read like, oh, he recorded 808s and Heartbreaks in 2 weeks. Never
Yeah,
knew that. And I saw it on Wikipedia. Then I remember like, oh yeah, with Yeezus, I think he was getting married around that time too when it was coming out.
he did
So yeah, so like he did the vocals last like in a week or something like that. I was like, okay, but
on
he still met the dates.
crazy.
But for some reason, after Life of Pablo, that formula of waiting till last minute and we just gonna feel it, like it just didn't work anymore.
You know what it is? It's
Yeah,
gotten even easier to do that because of streaming. So
mm,
it's like, bro,
yeah,
you can shoot the shot at the last minute. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so I guess like when you had to submit your album fucking 4 months early type shit, like, it was a little bit different in terms of how you took like, took the craft. But I think like it all started with Yeezus. Yeezus was the first time he actually like it was in his infancy with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because he still did like a lot of the production, but like Yeezus was when he really started like creating the incubators, like
yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like and it's like yo, he when he does it, we get Daytona, and Daytona was
yeah, yeah,
fire, like.
absolutely, yeah.
But
That's crazy, man.
I hope he can sit down and just like
For the next
really
one,
like you know what I mean, just like do an album, like.
well, yeah, I agree. I would love for him to like really take his time. My favorite filmmaker is Quentin Tarantino,
Mm-hmm.
and he has this thing where either I think he said that I want to retire either before I turn 60 or after 10 movies. He has one more movie in his career left. And I always felt like that was the perfect way to do it. because I just feel like it puts a certain level of like urgency on things, and it puts hype on the things too, but it just makes it feel like I'm gonna put my all into this because I know that after I reach a certain amount, I'm gonna sit down. And I feel like Life of Pablo should have been the last one. And it would have been a perfect discography, best discography in hip hop history, greatest artist ever. Like when he was saying like I remember when he was talking about the Pitchfork review, I think they gave him like a 9, and he was like, "White people can't review my albums anymore. I'm the greatest artist ever." I was like, I felt him when he said that.
Yeah, because it was a 10. Like, you know, like
yeah, it was a clear sense. But then Ye happens, and it's like, I look at you a little bit differently now. Of course, he's still a genius, but it's just like the spark isn't the same anymore, and it doesn't feel like it's you like coming straight from the heart anymore. It doesn't feel even not this. I shouldn't say that. It was still honest, but it's just like everything. Yeah,
because I think the things that we loved about Kanye was that he did put the 10,000 man hours in. He was a Kobe Bryant at this shit. He was wanted to be the greatest ever, and it's like. It's kind of like you see it's like when Muhammad Ali first got knocked out. It's like human. Like, and I mean, and it's like, bro, Ye is not the type of dude, he can never, ever truly be washed. Never. At any time, Kanye West can make the best album of all time. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, I feel like the way that he creates now, it works in the others, it's like, you know, world. Like, it works in fashion, it works in like the other parts, but it's like, in the creative process, I mean, did you watch that Dame Dash TV show that he did about like Kanye? It was like
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
I'm gonna try to find a link and send it to you.
Okay, bet. Thank you.
Very interesting video.
I saw the little clip that went viral of him yelling at Chance and stuff like that.
It's just like when I was looking at that environment, it just looked like it was too much going on. It's like. And it's like, I think that's just like, obviously he has a lot of things going on, but he has a lot of things going on. Like, you can't make the best album of all time and then be trying to fucking do everything else. Like, I don't know.
You know what's confusing though? What's interesting? And maybe it's not a good comparison because he hasn't put out as many albums, but every time Tyler drops an album, he has the album, he has the new clothing, he has maybe 1 or 2 TV shows coming with it. Like, he always drops a bunch of stuff at once, but maybe it's because he takes more time. I don't know. But it feels like Tyler is able to do it really well. But at the same time, maybe he doesn't have the same amount of pressure. I don't know. You know?
I feel like Tyler and Ye are super similar, very similar. Like, and I feel like with Tyler, he's just the thing about Ye is that like he's like this like, bro, Ye is like the leader. He has to be the lead innovator. Tyler is more of the person. He's not. Obviously, he was an innovator in like, you know, like a huge way, but I don't think that he's necessarily trying to be like the best on earth. Like in terms of like like Kanye's trying to be the biggest and the best.
Yeah, I don't think Tyler focuses on that necessarily.
He just focuses on like making music and shit. I feel like he's more on Pharrell in terms of like how he looks at it and goes about it. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Like, Tyler though, it's like I'm interested in what to see his new project is like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Is it Igor?
That was a crazy height. That was crazy.
I was listening because like, how did you feel about it when it first came out?
I'll tell you, even before it first came out, when Are We Still Friends and Earthquake leaked, I was like, oh no, I felt like I was thinking like, oh no, he's went Kanye mode. He's putting the reference tracks on the actual song. It's over. And then when I heard the actual album, maybe it was the headphones I was on. I don't know. Because I felt the same way when King Kunta leaked. I was like, oh man, this song is like, it just didn't hit me. So maybe I'm just the type of guy I need to hear the actual thing when it actually comes out. But when I heard Igor in full, I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, like with these headphones on, my studio headphones on. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like the mixing is amazing. Like all the instrumentation, the fact that he was able to do what I feel like not many artists can do, which is make 12 songs about one thing and tell the whole story in order of each feeling. Like that's like most artists can't do that. And then to produce every song like we know he does, like
yeah,
it's just absolutely amazing. Like his best melodies, his best chord progressions ever, like his best everything. And then like to have certain songs like a song like Earthquake where it's like his most simple chord progression maybe of his entire career. And I think, which is another one, his most simple chord progressions, but then his most beautiful songs in his whole career. It's just like, wow, when this guy is like, it's like sometimes you have to learn so much that you know what to take out of things and how simple to keep it and how big to keep it. And it's just like all the knowledge is just in this album. Like, to me, that's his best album for sure. Even if it's not the one, but like Flower Boy, I might want to listen to more maybe, but Igor is like, just the craft of it is just insane to me. Like, it's amazing. It's perfect to me.
Yeah, it's just like it's basically flawless. Like, when I first heard the album, I liked it, but Tyler is an artist that like I really, really, really grew up on. Like, I love, if you see everything I do, you can see that this is obviously like very Tyler influenced, like in terms of direction. And like, bro, when that album, I guess I wasn't heartbroken or I wasn't in love type shit.
Wow.
When I ran that shit back last summer though, like, bro, I always liked the album, but like, I think it's one of like the,
bro, the Solange vocals, the bridge, the way it just breaks down, like it's masterful. Like, that's the only word I can use for it, is masterful.
Puppet,
crazy.
He used Kanye how Kanye used everybody else. Like, Kanye was obviously, he didn't know what he was saying, but he was melting. He was just harmonizing. Like, he just used it as a
best use of a Kanye like rough demo vocal of all time
ever.
He's given a lot of these to a lot of artists over like the last 5 years. Tyler used it so perfectly, and the album has that vibe of where it's like it feels made, but it's also mixed to be rough. So it's like this Kanye vocal works perfectly. Whereas on certain people's album, like on Ty Dolla $ign's first album, there's like a Kanye vocal. It's a song with Diddy's on there too, and like Hit Boy produced it, and the song is not very good, even though I love everybody on the song. And it's like another situation where it's like it's this Kanye vocal where it's like, okay, this is a Kanye demo where he's like, he wasn't really trying, he's really freestyling it, but you're gonna try to make it work because it's Kanye West. Tyler figured out exactly how to use it in such a perfect way. And it's like, okay, this is genius right here. Like, this is absolute genius. Like, it's like black people, like, we took the scraps and made amazing food. It's like the same thing to me. Like,
it's amazing. He like the execution on that, I feel like it's just a sharper cherry bomb. Like, in terms of like the things that he established, I still think overall Cherry Bomb has Tyler's best production. I still have to, like, some of those songs like Two Seater, Okaga, Blow My Load, like those were like, I don't think like, I don't know. That was a ridiculous album, but he did execute some of the ideas that he had on there way better on Igor, like way better.
It's like his Life of Pablo. It's like where it's like your greatest hits, all your ideas. It's like your best version of it. Even like he has a song, New Magic Wand, where he's talking about like shooting a girl. It's like, okay, this is Goblin Tyler in the best form. It actually makes sense now. It's not just talking just to talk. Like,
New Magic Wand, like, I just understand Tyler, but his feelings be hurt, and he just be making bangers. Like, and that's why I say that he's very similar to Kanye. Kanye made 808s in 2 weeks. I understand that. Like, he was hurt, bro. Nigga just went in there and locked the fuck in. Like, and I think that they capture a feeling so vividly because of how, first off, their soundscapes, you know what I mean, are, I don't know, like, you can literally see exactly what's going on when you listen to this music. Like,
and they both say they have a synthesizer, I think, right?
I think so.
They both said that.
And it's like the beats, I mean, like, not the beats, the visuals are also always so crazy, and it like loops you into this world. So it's like, I don't know, they just know how to create worlds very, very well, and I appreciate them for that. For real.
Me too, bro. Like, growing up, those are definitely like my two artists that I stand the most above every other artist for sure.
Yeah, because it's like, I love Drake. If somebody asked me if like who you learn, like who's your rapping style at, I probably would say that. But everything else is them two niggas. Tyler and Kanye, like, bro, they figured it out. Like, Pharrell too, can't forget Pharrell, but it's like Tyler and Ye though. Like, I feel like Ye, we like got to witness him, but then Tyler, we got to grow up with him. And it was like the interaction, you know, like, I don't know, like did Tyler ever respond to you on Forum Spring or some shit? Or like, he did for me, and that shit blew my fucking
I
mind.
definitely remember reading it. I remember reading it for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, like that was so cool being able to just like talk to this person, like
yeah.
be able to see their life and all that stuff. So I don't
I
know.
haven't heard that site in so long. Formspring. Wow.
Warm.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Like every like week or so, I would like reload it and go back to his page and see what he's been talking about. See if there's new information he might be throwing out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I remember the first time he responded, he talked about because one thing I love about Tyler is that he'll say some shit and then it happened. Like he be sticking to shit. Like Goblin, Bastard Goblin Wolf happened. You know,
Yeah.
like when he put that shit on Formspring, I remember on Odd Future Talk, niggas was losing their mind. They were like, Wolf, possible Wolf leaks, like
Yeah.
all that shit. But
By the
oh,
way, I was on Future Talk too. I was on there before KTT for sure. Yeah.
yes. Odd Future Talk was different. That Tyler unreleased thread was amazing. Like they had that shit organized so well, bro. Like, but
Yeah, that was fun, man.
I like that. You know, we got to be on the internet and talk to all these other people that loved our artists just as much as we did, and just be nerds in like
Yeah.
this somewhat safe space. Like it was kind of weird, like thinking back that I mean, like us being on this website as Let's Us talking right now, you know, like
Yeah.
that shit's nuts. It's kind of
I
like,
feel like it made me a better artist too, for sure.
oh, of
Like
course.
the ability to really talk about music and see people's thoughts and like really go in depth, and then like from there starting to go like read reviews and stuff like that. It made me be more of an in-depth music fan, which made me more of an in-depth artist.
Mm-hmm. Because you
Like
start
I wouldn't, yeah,
cooking those nooks and crannies.
yeah, I would encourage all artists to like become more of a music fan if you're not like a huge music fan. Read more stuff, like all that type of stuff, because it just makes you think about stuff more than you would, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In terms of learning about an album process or a creation of an album, what was the most, other than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? Let's just get that one out.
Yeah, because that was a big
Other than that, what was like, I guess, the most inspirational after seeing it? Like, how much did it impact you in changing your craft?
um I'm trying to think, because it might be another Kanye album. It might be um Yeezus or Pablo. I'm trying to think. I feel like there might be somebody else. You know what? Either it's funny, it might be between Tyler or Kanye, because with Yeezus, I remember they did the interview with Pitchfork where it was like Justin Vernon, Mike Dean, and I don't know, another producer might have been on there, and they really talked about it, which helped me a lot to really hear about the process. Like I love that kind of stuff. And then with Pablo, Kanye was talking about the process. Like he was like, remember the notepad, and it had every artist name on there. By the way, nobody talks about how crazy that notepad is. Earl Sweatshirt was on that notepad.
Sweatshirt was on there. You remember when everybody thought it was Drake's signature on that notepad? They was like, "Is that Drake? It was like, is that Drake?" Like, bro,
Like,
that was a thing. Like trying to figure out whose signature was who. Like,
yeah, bro. All of those stories, like that helped me so much. And then with Tyler, he would do the actual documentaries. And I would love those. Like that would inspire me too. Just to watch somebody like have the process of creating something from the ground up.
mm-hmm.
It always helps me a lot
How
for
did you
sure.
feel when you saw the Wolf trailer for the movie?
Bro, I was so hyped. And that I'm still what I'm trying to figure out is Tyler has like he announced on the show recently that he's supposed to be doing, like I think it's an animated show with Fox. I'm confused. Why hasn't he directed a film yet? Like I just don't get why he hasn't.
It's like I remember Tyler always said he wants to make cartoons, so I can understand it. But
Yeah.
it's also like you be snapping with these videos. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
I feel like he's one of the best directors on the planet. Like if he made films, I don't know if he needs to write it or if he has to get somebody else a script or whatever. But with his I was about to say movies, with his videos, he's shown so many different types of styles. Like he can do comedy, he can do horror. Like She is like actually a menacing video.
See, like he did that at like 18 years old. Like that.
Yeah, he's like 18, 19 directing these videos. Like, bro, I feel like he's one of the best directors walking the earth. And it's a shame he hasn't done an actual 90-minute film yet. Like,
Yeah,
it's insane to me. Like, I was so hyped for the Wolf movie. I couldn't believe it never happened. Like, and the Yeezus tour movie that never came out.
Wait, hold on. let's really run this back because Kanye, we gotta smack him across the head for this one, right?
I was like, what?
Wolf. You know, Tyler was young as hell. He probably either he probably just filmed that shit just to like fuck with people, like try to submit it to places like to get funded, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
But the Yeezus film, first off, nigga, we were supposed to get the Glow in the Dark tour documentary. Didn't get that shit in a book. Was supposed to get the motherfucking this shit or whatever. Then we were supposed to get the Kissy Ghost film. That never came.
I don't know what's up with that.
The Yeezus one hurt so bad though. Because it showed the not yet rate. Like it showed that.
Yeah. I think Hype Williams directed it too.
It looked so some of those shots
looked amazing.
Like it's actually a crime to cinema as an art form that is not out. Like some of that shit looked insane. But he did put out Jesus is King. So
that's true. I was out to see that in theaters. I love that.
But that was beautiful.
And you remember, I was always waiting for the Cruel Summer movie to come out. I never got to see that.
Did you ever see the leaked footage?
No, I never saw anything. I think I saw like a picture from the theater that showed like all the screens, but I never actually saw like anything from the movie.
That was on KTT for years, bro. There's a fucking like, it may be damn near about 5-6 minutes of this video. Like,
I gotta see this.
Great, like, this shit honestly looked like a tech demo. Like, it was more of like a tech demo. Like, the narrative looked pretty cool or whatever. It was like I don't know. It was like some crime shit. Kid Cudi's like some fucking gangster or whatever. I don't know. But it like the idea though, like there was this one scene where they walked into a garage and there was all these cars on the sides and they were all like, you know, it's like which one you want to pick? And it's like he was just thinking about a VR movie before VR was really going crazy. Like,
that's crazy, bro. And my thing is, because I want to be a director. Like that's why I'm so interested in like I want Tyler to make a movie. Like I'm super interested in like actor turned directors or comedian turned like people who didn't go to film school to become a director but went from one thing to be a director. And it's so crazy to me that Kanye directed Runaway.
Yeah.
Like when you think about that, when it says written by Hype Williams, directed by it's like, wait, he directed like one of the most beautiful like it blows my mind.
What is another video that Ye directed?
I feel like he's directed videos for other people too.
And I feel, he directed Best I Ever Had. That retrospect is a phenomenal video. Like, I think that people just weren't ready for irreverent, like, type shit. Like, that was like
it didn't land right. Yeah.
That was a TikTok, nigga. Like, that was like shit. Like, but
that was a funny video, yeah. I think he like creative directed the Panda video, but not like literal directed.
He's probably creatively directed all his shit. Cause I mean, like he do be paying for him and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But Hype Williams, though, him and that nigga, I think they've only missed once. The Cold video.
The Cold video.
Yeah.
That video. Yeah, that video was terrible. It had like the flashing, the whole video. Yeah.
Bro, Kim looked like the devil in that video. Fucking devil. Like that song was so fucking hard. It deserved a way better video than that. Like, but
dang, I forgot about that video. That was wiped from my memory. You know what else was wiped from my memory? The Uptown video, Travis Scott video. You remember that video?
Oh, when them niggas is in that fucking bodega type shit. Oh,
I hated that video. I hated that video so much.
It was like you know what Travis was, bro, in the beginning? Travis was that piss beer that you would drink because you couldn't get, like, you was too young to pick really what you wanted for, like, you know, the store type shit for, like, and you got Travis. But Travis ended up getting really good.
Yeah.
Like, he started getting, like, but it was like, bro, at that time, it was between Cruel Summers had type just came out. Like it was like that or whatever. Yeezus was like a year away. Like it just needed that Ye feeling. Like, and I feel like Rodeo, like you brought that up earlier, riding around to it. I remember that too. Like when that come out, 2015, right? Yeah, that was in between them albums, bro. Like we got that Kiss on Your Grave. Like the energy was so. I feel like that was the last. That was the last La Flame album. Like Birds was the first Travis Scott album, but that one was like, I feel like that was like him at his Kanye peak type shit of like, you know, like the sound that he was getting at that time. Like,
Yeah, that's and I love Travis, and I was a Kanye stan, so that was like the era when like it's like when they say like in the Bible, like just to touch the hem of Jesus's garment. It's like just to be close to Kanye West, just to be the
Mhm.
Vic Mensa in 2015, the Chance the Rapper, like just when you're a little bit close to Kanye West.
That was
It's that
that
was
was
that moment.
brilliant. Yo,
Yeah,
like,
that
can we talk about how the So Help Me God era single-handedly ruined Vic Mensa as an artist?
absolutely, bro. We can absolutely talk about that because I loved Vic Mensa when he dropped Internet Tape 2013. I was a huge Vic Mensa
And
fan.
then don't
He was my
forget
favorite rapper for a little bit.
what was the other shit that he had with the that group
Kid was it Kids These Days?
is these days.
Yeah,
He was on
I like
like,
him a lot.
and look, think about it right now. Think about how everybody hate Chance, right?
Yeah,
Imagine if Vic played his cards right. He would have been in the perfect spot to take Chance's spot.
yes,
Like, cause like, bro, down on my luck,
crazy.
he could have stayed on
Crazy.
that.
Like the song "Feel That" too. Like he just had these vibes where it's just like, bro, this dude, like it was just dope, and it felt like a little bit of a counter to Chance, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's the same vibe because they came up rapping together, and I was just like, man, like I was just feeling him a lot, and
Hmm.
then it felt like he was losing his identity, and who am I to say? Maybe that's who he really was, and he was just changing, but like that era, like all day at the Coco in London, like when it was that era, it felt like it was amazing, but it didn't feel like it was Vic Mensa being himself. Felt like he was just fitting
Yeah.
into what was happening at the
Oh,
time.
Big Mensa's here. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like I don't know, bro. That is so weird to me. Like, cause it's like it feel like if y'all on Xbox and everybody changed their clan tag to like a certain like thing,
yeah,
and then everybody done with it, but the one nigga stay with that clan tag though.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I feel like Vic Mensa stayed in those Chelsea boots. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that was a weird era. I don't know, but I really hope that like I like when those Chicago artists like I like when Chance taps into the house. Like
Love that.
when he goes into the house, like that shit is so like even though the Big Day was a trash album, I still like that song he had with Shawn Mendes on that bitch.
I like that song
That shit
too.
was hard. Like I was like, oh no, I like when Vic Mensa was on that and like just on that. I'm not saying that he needs to regress artistically, but
Yeah, yeah. But
that just wasn't the right
'cause I
direction.
was like I will only say because I was such a big Vic Mensa fan. Like the first album was such a disappointment.
Hmm.
Bruh, this is like what happened? And it's
Yeah.
weird because I feel like he got better at rapping too, but it was
Hmm.
just like the song making is just weird. It's like I don't know. It's like sometimes when you just feel like somebody lost it a little bit, somebody is just the spark isn't there when they're writing a song, when they're writing a hook. The melodies just don't feel the same. Like it's weird. I don't know, what influenced it, but I guess it might have been being around other people, being around Kanye's crowd or whatever, trying to feel like you're trying to adjust towards them.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's scary, honestly. It's like, hmm,
Come on, Vic. I don't know. I think that yeah, like I commend his work and that he's done in terms of like uh in Chicago and all that. Like, but
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I think that's something that it's like a big like if you were really like I guess well I won't say if you're really, but if you're paying attention, that's a lesson. You know what I mean? Like don't completely change yourself for a moment. That album didn't come out. Like So Help Me God did not come out. Like
Did not
like I don't know. Come on, babe.
That's what I love about those artists, and that's why they inspire me. Like the guys that just completely remember who they are, no
Hmm.
matter where they're at. Even like somebody like Tyler. Like I remember seeing something where it said that Kanye, I think he either wanted the 48 beat or he wanted to get on 48, and Tyler's like, "No, this doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna do it." And I was thinking, like, bro, you gonna turn down a Kanye feature? It's like it's gonna happen eventually, but
Yeah.
for this song, it's not right. It's like I respect it, and I get why. Because now looking back, it's like it would have been whack if he forced it.
Yeah, and this is like it's like yeah, this is like a deep song. Like it's
Yeah, yeah,
like and it's like at that point in the story, dude, that was like a very big plot piece for that character that he was
absolutely, yeah,
no, I
yeah,
think that's another thing, like just knowing when it's the right time to do something, not forcing or rushing something that can happen organically. You know what I mean? It's like when you're making art, you don't want to when you put people in the room and say, "Hey, I got to do this." It's not going to be the same type of vibes if y'all just all pulled up like on some regular shit. Like,
yeah. That's when it goes from like creativity to an assignment.
yeah,
You know,
and
yeah,
it's like we say that shit for the 9 to 5. Like this is
yeah,
the real shit. Like I don't know. I really I love their process though. Like Tyler is like he's him and Ye do something that I love, and is that they really trust their ideas. Like they
Yeah.
really like. I mean, like I love. I just interviewed Chloe Hotline, right? And she
Yeah.
said, like one of her album, like she said one of the songs on her album, she wrote the hook when she was like 8 or some shit.
I peeped that. Yeah.
I'm
I think the
bro,
Michigan shit.
but I believe it because it's like, yo, I listened to motherfucking what you call it when Ye was on the Def Poetry shit. Like we like like those songs are
Yeah.
like or say like what you call even Homecoming. Like it's beautiful to see that because it's like sometimes it teaches you to like this is something that you don't have to discard. It's just not the right time. Maybe you can come back to this at another point and be able to better use this. You know what I mean? Like
I've learned from all of that for sure. Like
mm,
there are songs that are on an album that might have a piece that I made years ago. Like I have like this band called Starlight, and we're gonna put out some stuff in the future where it's a song where there's an idea from one song that actually okay, it's a song that we have called Camo, and my boy Save is on it. He has 2 verses on it. One verse was recorded in 2016. One
mhm.
verse was recorded in 2020. Same vocal when he was 16 years old, and now when he's 20 years old. And he
That
almost sounds the same, but it's just so cool because it's just like to have these pieces, like it's like the missing piece. It's like I
oh
love it. Yeah,
wait. So it's like you was on some boyhood type shit.
yeah, without realizing it.
Yeah.
Like because my thing is like I love to have an idea for a song, and if it doesn't feel like it's working, I leave it. Then I come back to it years later. So it's a song that we started back in 2016, and I was just like, I don't feel this. And then we're working on the group stuff. And I'm like, okay, now I like certain parts of this, so I'm gonna keep his verse. I'm gonna keep parts of the beat, but I'm gonna freak it and change everything around it. And then I recorded like a new hook for the track. Actually used the verse from 2 verses from one song from 2019, one song from 2016 that I recorded and put them on the song, like changed the BPM. So I kept the original vocals. And then he was like, well, I want to get on this. So he recorded another verse. And he wanted to replace his verse. So I was like, no, this is hard. And it's just cool the idea of having 2016 and 2021 all on one song. And it's not forced at all. It just felt right to me as a producer of it. Like I love that kind of stuff.
That's ill.
Yeah. I don't believe in throwing ideas away, but I'm not married to them either. So I just feel like, like you were saying, you keep stuff, and when it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't, it don't.
Gotta write down a timestamp on that motherfucker. God damn, you just dropped a bar in this bitch.
Yeah.
I like that. I ain't married to him either. That's dope. That's super fucking dope. The thought of like, because like you said, you started really like the process of this project in 2016. So it's like it's kind of like full circle in the whole production. That's dope.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh my god. So is there any other moments like that on the album where it's a older piece mixed with a newer piece that creates
On
this
the album.
harmony?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to think because it's low-key on every song.
Okay.
Yeah, on every song there's an older vocal and a newer vocal. Because I went back and I tried to re-record certain moments where I feel like I could have hit the note stronger or something like that. But like even on the first track, Wine, it's got instrumentation that was recorded in 2020 in Texas, and then my vocals I recorded in 2017 in Ohio. Flip is like just chock full of that. Death Proof, part of my verse was recorded in 2020, part of my verse was recorded in 2017. Then one feature was recorded in 2017, one was recorded in 2019.
Both of them were crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like y'all always stupid on that, like for real. Like
Thank you, bro.
very big, like this energy.
That's fire. That's fire. Yeah, bro. Thank you. Like literally, like as I think about it, every song, Edda, I started it on January 1st, 2018. But
Mhm.
then like over the years, I would go back and try to fix certain things, make it, change it to stuff that I liked more. Trust is really the only song, but even then I re-recorded it, but I started it in 2020 and I re-recorded it in 2020. So that's the only song that I didn't make over the span of multiple years, but every other song took years to make. Yeah.
That's crazy. So when y'all listening to that Will Cherry, know that there's some motherfucking manpower, it's hours. You know what I mean? Years putting into this shit. So that's why it's hitting so damn good.
Yeah,
So you can't go out there and just copy this craft overnight. For real, for real. I like that.
yeah.
Before we wrap up, though, I want to ask you the last question. We're at McDonald's. You drunk, you fucked up. You tore up. You hungry though. What you getting? What's that meal?
I might get the nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce and the honey mustard. Maybe the fruit punch. They just brought the orange high C back, so I'm gonna have to go to that.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I just heard about it. Yeah, they brought that back. They brought that back for one time, so I'm gonna have to dip into that real quick, and maybe some cookies on the side. Yeah,
that sounds like a very well-rounded, fucked up meal. That high, that high C, that shit. I didn't know about that. I'm glad I asked you that question.
I just saw it like the other day. I just saw that they bringing it back. Yeah.
You know, that was kind of like a war crime. Like, why did they take that away? Like,
yeah.
Well, you know, just like the McDonald's Sprite, you know, this shit. Damn. I tried to come up with something.
It's hitting. It's hitting hard.
Embrace human nature. I mean, human error. That's what Main URL is all about. We just talked to the God, the legend.
Thank you.
Well, Terry, thank you so much for coming through. We'll definitely have you back on here again.
I can't wait, man.
Do some other shit, but hell yeah. Is there anything that you want to plug? Anything like that?
My band Starlight is about. We haven't announced it yet, but by the time this comes out, it'll probably be out. We're dropping our first song on March 7th. It's called Shining because the band is called Starlight. So the song says, I'm a star, so I'm shining. It's like, you know, I want to do like, you know, I feel like a lot of the great artists throughout history, their first song was like an introduction song, like Snoop Dogg, my name is Eminem, like that type of stuff. So I wanted to do that with us. So I'm a star, so I'm shining. That's the first song. And then we're going to be dropping a song every month. Then I have like more videos coming out. I just dropped a short film. I got more videos coming out every month, remix packs of like songs from the album. And then after a while, I'm going to take a little break. But for probably the rest of the year, it's just going to be stuff back to back to back.
Cool. Y'all go and what's your socials? Plug those right now so they can see all of this.
Yeah, Will Cherry, WILLCHERRRY, 3 R's everywhere because the 2 R's is taken. Yeah.
Got you. Well, you know what? This is another episode of Talking the URL. I'm Christopher Chance, and I'm very happy to be talking to this man right now. So, hell yeah, bro. Y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.